$1.8 million per episode. 28 million viewers tuning in every week. The highest paid actor on American television. Charlie Sheen wasn't just a star, he was an empire. But there was one thing all that money, all that fame, and all that success could never buy: peace. And when the truth finally emerged, the world didn't watch a fall. They watched an explosion. Drugs that cost $50,000 a year. $1.6 million spent on prostitutes. An HIV diagnosis hidden for 4 years behind $10 million in hush money. Violence that terrified every woman who dared love him. And 5 children who today refuse to speak to their father. The man who shouted, "I'm winning," on live television lost it all. Fortune, family, career, and even the memory of the talent that once made him unforgettable. How does someone with everything destroy it all with their own hands? What happens when fame, fortune, and talent aren't enough to save a man from himself? And why did Hollywood keep paying him millions while he burned everything around him? To answer that, we need to go back to the beginning, long before the cameras, the drugs, or the infamous meltdown. Charlie Sheen was never meant to be invisible. Born Carlos Irwin Estevez on September 3, 1965, in New York City, he entered a world drenched in Hollywood glamour. His father, Martin Sheen, was already on the path to becoming one of the most respected actors of his generation. His mother, Janet Templeton, a former art student, provided the stability Martin's chaotic career often lacked. But being born into Hollywood royalty does not guarantee a crown. Often, it means living in the shadow of giants. From early on, Charlie felt that weight. The legendary surname carried expectations in every room he entered. Be as brilliant, as talented, as untouchable as a father whose name opened doors but whose presence was often distant. Martin Sheen, though devoted when home, spent months on film sets and in Hollywood limelight, leaving young Charlie to watch his father on screen rather than at the dinner table. Years later, Charlie admitted, "I wanted to make him proud, but I never felt like I could reach him." That distance, small as it might seem, became the first crack in a foundation that would later crumble entirely. School offered little refuge. At Santa Monica High School, Charlie was restless, rebellious, and uninterested in academics. Baseball parties and thrills were far more compelling than textbooks. He clashed with authority, skipped classes, and earned a reputation not as Martin Sheen's gifted son, but as the boy who couldn't live up to the name. Yet there was one arena where Charlie shined, in front of the camera. Even as a child, he had an electric presence, a fearless instinct that drew people's attention. At 9, he appeared uncredited in one of his father's projects. By his teens, he was landing small roles, testing the waters of an industry that had already decided he belonged. His first major break came in 1984 with Red Dawn, a Cold War action film, where he played a teenage resistance fighter. The role was minor, but Charlie's presence was undeniable. Critics noticed. Casting directors took note. For the first time, Charlie Sheen began stepping out his father's shadow, not by escaping it, but by standing beside it. Then came 1986, and everything changed. Oliver Stone cast him in Platoon, a harrowing Vietnam War film that would win the Academy Award for Best Picture. Charlie played Chris Taylor, a young soldier confronting war's horrors with raw, unflinching honesty. His performance was more than acting. It was inhabiting a soul. Overnight, Charlie Sheen became a star. Critics who once dismissed him as Martin Sheen's son now hailed him as a talent in his own right. In 1987, Stone cast him again, this time in Wall Street, opposite Michael Douglas. Charlie played Bud Fox, a young stockbroker seduced by greed and power. The role cemented his range and proved he could hold his own alongside legends. Wall Street became a cultural phenomenon. Charlie was everywhere. Magazine covers, talk shows, red carpets. By his early 20s, he had achieved what most actors spend lifetimes chasing: critical acclaim, box office success, industry respect, and perhaps most importantly, the pride he had craved from his father. But success, especially when it comes fast, carries a hidden cost. Hollywood offered Charlie not just fame, but an intoxicating array of temptations: money, women, drugs, and illusion that the rules didn't apply. At first, it seemed manageable, a little cocaine here, drinks there, casual encounters. But addiction doesn't announce itself. It creeps in quietly, disguised as celebration and relief. By the late 1980s, whispers followed Charlie around the studio lots. Missed call times, erratic behavior, wild nights. Some dismissed it as youthful excess. Others saw the beginnings of a pattern that would consume him entirely. Yet work kept coming. Major League 1989 made him a comedy star. Hot Shots 1991 proved he could lead a franchise. Navy SEALs, The Rookie, and countless others kept his name in lights. Charlie Sheen was bankable and talented enough to overcome the chaos swirling behind the scenes. But beneath the surface, cracks widened. His first marriage to model Donna Peel in 1995 lasted barely a year. Infidelity, drinking, and a lifestyle incompatible with commitment tore it apart. Friends saw the warning signs. Charlie was chasing something unattainable: approval, peace, belonging. And when it eluded him, he turned to the only relief he knew: more drugs, more women, more nights that blurred into regret. By the early 2000s, Charlie's film career cooled. Blockbuster roles dried up. Then came 2003, when Chuck Lorre offered him 2.5 Men. Charlie saw himself in the character, a charming, selfish bachelor living in Malibu, drowning in wine, women, and one-liners. "I didn't have to act," he later said. "I just had to show up." 2.5 Men premiered in September 2003. Audiences fell in love. By season 3, 15 million viewers tuned in, and Charlie was once again the king of primetime. His paycheck soared, $350,000 per episode in the early seasons, then $800,000, then $1.25 million, until finally $1.8 million per episode in 2010. For a while, it seemed as though his past chaos had been tamed. But Charlie was never tamed. He just hit it better, behind the laughter of a live studio audience. His life spiraled. Cocaine remained his fuel, costing $50,000 per year. Women were endless. Transactions, not relationships, with $1.6 million spent on escorts. In 2011, the world learned what Charlie had hidden for 4 years. He was HIV positive. He had kept it secret with $10 million in hush money, exposing partners to risk and facing lawsuits. The revelation shattered his public image. Marriage brought more chaos. His third wife, Brooke Mueller, endured drug-fueled violence. On Christmas Day 2009, Charlie held a knife to her throat in Aspen. Arrests, rehab, and lawsuits followed. Custody battles stripped him of his children, Bob and Max, his twin sons, Sam and Lola, daughters with Denise Richards, and Cassandra, his eldest from a high school relationship. 5 children, 5 broken relationships. He was fired from 2.5 Men in 2011, the network citing self-destructive behavior. His empire crumbled. Attempts at a comeback with anger management, 2012 to 2014, were hollow. The writing was weak, the spark gone. Arrests, lawsuits, and allegations of violence continued, including accusations from ex-fiancé Brett Rossi. The pattern was undeniable: drugs, rage, and chaos. Financial ruin.